host of the Gridiron.
This guy right here has got to be smiling. How do you like me now? Huh? Right? Yeah, I said I didn't. I heard the Eagles won. I heard like Saquon did really good and all that. But I mean, it's not even so much the one player. I mean, all season long, right? Look how well he's doing, right? So Dave Gettleman's really got to be smiling up a storm. Now you see why I picked him number 2. Everybody was, me included, without question, right? Me included. I wanted Quenton Nelson because we needed to fix the offensive line. I wanted Quenton Nelson, who went 6th, I think, to the Colts. Let me. Do I have it here? Nope. 2018 draft. Quenton Nelson, 6th to the Colts. Yeah. Of course, Josh Allen went 7th to the Bills. But the thing is that you can look, well, why did we take Josh? Because Baker Mayfield got taken 1st, Sam Darnold got taken 3rd. So it would have been a little bit of a stretch, shall we say. And obviously, remember, don't forget about Josh Rosen, too. He was supposed to be the most polished, I think, of all these quarterbacks coming out into the draft. Right? Let's not forget about him. But the Giants took Saquon Barkley number 2 overall. Now, I think one of the big things was also in 2018, right? Was because, we took we had OBJ, we had Sterling Shepard. Eli was getting toward the end of his career. We want to maybe make one final push, right? We took Evan Ingram in 2017, so we had a tight end, right? We had the wide receiver. We had another Sterling Shepard. We had Evan Ingram. We took a good running back. We still have our quarterback, Eli Manning. So that was kind of like, let's get one more, see if we can get him a weapon. Maybe Eli can drum up some magic from the past, and maybe we'll make one more historic run in the playoffs. Well, of course, that never happened. But at the time, I was kind of hoping we would have took Nelson. That would have helped the offensive line because, as we knew back then, we still needed. We took Will Hernandez in the 2nd round. Right, good pick. Now, of course, he didn't do too bad for the Giants, but he didn't solve our problems. But of course, after his contract was up, let him go. Right? What do we need him for? Right? But I said I would have liked to take Quenton Nelson, but. Gettleman was talking about, when you have a pick, pick number 2 overall, he kind of tipped his hand a little bit there, holding his hand, right, looking around, kind of held it to the camera, let everybody look at it, right, Of course, you envision somebody with a gold jacket, right, and kind of tipped his hand, and he seemed like he was a little bit enamored with Saquon's, right? So it was no huge, to me anyway, shocker when at pick number 2. With the 2nd pick in the 2018 NFL draft, the New York Giants select Saquon Barkley, running back, Penn State. There was no shocker there. There were some good players, obviously, after him as well. But, one of the things was, pick number 3 was Sam Darnold. Okay. But, I'm sure Dave Gettleman's, looking back, or sitting back in his chair watching the Eagle games and patting himself on the back. Because you can see, right? I mean, if if the Giants possibly had like the offensive line the Eagles had or have, shall I say, I mean, you could see, the dude would have well over 10,000 yards rushing. Put Saquon's behind the 2007, 2008 offensive line the Giants had, the 2006 offensive line. Man, he'd have probably well over 10,000 yards by now, or 10,000 yards rushing by now. He'd be well on his way to a gold jacket, right? But although Dave Gettleman, right, helped draft Saquon, right? He was also one of the ones that we kind of bestowed upon help us fix this offensive line. Now, when Gettleman was the GM of the Panthers, he drafted, especially in some of the later rounds, he hit on a few nuggets. So when he came in here, I'm kind of thinking to myself, he did some pretty. I mean, if you go back and look at a couple of his drafts with the Panthers, he drafted some good. He had a good nose or good eye or ear or whatever for offensive line. So I thought for sure that he'd be able to fix it. He brought in a ton of guys, drafted some guys, brought in a ton of guys. Obviously, he drafted Andrew Thomas, right? Good pick there. Not sure if Andrew Thomas is ever going to be able to stay healthy ever again. But, he did draft Andrew Thomas, but he brought in a ton of free agents. He drafted some guys and all that. Weren't able to get the offensive line fixed. But you saw what Saquon could do. I mean, he had over 2,000 all-purpose yards his rookie season, right? But you see what he can do, right, when he's behind. As I said, this is just stuff I see like on Facebook posts and stuff like that. I didn't watch the game. I haven't watched an Eagle game all season. I'm not going to watch an Eagle game. If my life depends upon it, I'm not watching the Eagle game. I'm not watching the Super Bowl. Not happening. But just stuff I see like on Facebook, posts and all that and everything. And my wife, she watches the games. I listen to her talk and all that stuff. And but you can see, right? Dave Gettleman's probably, oh yeah, good pick, Dave. You made the right pick there. But just saying, also Dave Gettleman was one of the guys on that Mount Rushmore I showed earlier that had a chance, right, to fix the offensive line and just wasn't able to do it.